What up YouTube? Back again with another little video on the Panigale V2. Hope everyone's staying safe. So today's video I'm thinking about breaking up into two parts, just because I do have quite a bit to go over on the bike. So basically the two videos is kind of a 4,000 mile review, kind of a review of the bike, what I like, what I don't like, what the bike likes, what it doesn't like. You get the idea. So what I'll do is I'm going to for the first part for the first part of the video, I'm just going to give you a little bit of context of me, my riding, what I've ridden, what I've come off, what I've come to, etc. Blah 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 blah. So like I say, this is my first Ducati. It's my first V-twin. All I've ever ridden over the years is Japanese inline 4s, 600s, Fireblade, back to 600s. You get the score. Pretty much always Japanese inline 4 bikes. The first thing I'm going to drop on is that I've had the bike about 3 months now. I got it literally the last week in April. It only does dry weather miles, and that's all I do on it. I don't commute on it. I don't usually like to go to work, or it's literally pleasure miles only that I do on the bike. In the 3 month that I, well, just over 3 months that I've owned the bike now, I've done a little over 4,000 miles. So the title of the video might be like something along the lines of Ducati V2 4,000 mile review type thing. I suppose the beauty of the video, today's part A of this video, is that I actually own the bike. It's not a press bike or anything like that. So when these bikes came out, what I found was all the reviews and stuff that I sort of looked on online and watched and this, that and the other, were like people who's had the bike for like an hour, 2-3 hours, something like that. One guy here in the UK had it for like a week or so. And yeah, they ride them, they go out, they might put 500 or 600 mile on the Ducati press bikes. I'm pretty sure they're not going to give you a true representation of the bike, and go into a little bit more depth of what the bike's like to own and such like. So that's what sort of spurred me to make this little video. I'll just go over quickly and I'll show you the miles that's on the bike, just so you know that the bike's got the mileage on I'm talking about. I hope that's going to pick up there, guys. 4,019 mile I've done on the bike. I'll tell you what, while I'm here, I'm pretty sure you want to hear the bike, and instead of my dulcet tones, I'll quickly fire the bike up for you and you can have a listen. There's the back lights for you, daytime running lights. Obviously it's got front daytime running lights on it too. The second part of the video, I'll probably give my thoughts on the exhaust, the noise it makes, what it's like, but I'll go into that. I'll probably go into that a little bit more in depth on the exhaust part of it, which will probably be part B of the video. But while I'm here, I'll give it a little rev for you. You can hear what it sounds like. Quite nice sound of the kit. Love it. So yeah, there we go. That's oh, sorry, there we go, a little bit. I've got stuff wrote down here, so if you hear like paper crumpling and rattling in the background, It's just me with me divvy little list of stuff that I want to touch on. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, the first sort of 20 plus years of me riding, 25 years even, has all been on Japanese inline 4s, no rider aids, nothing like that. Literally bike and rider, away you go type thing. It's the first V-twin I've owned. It's the first Ducati I've owned. Again, absolutely, I love the bike. I like the brand, if that makes sense, even though I'm only 3 months into ownership of this bike. I heard a couple of bits of horror stories that they were going to fall apart on us, they were going to shake themselves to death, they were going to, you get the idea, guys. Simply put, not true. I've had literally no problems at all with this bike whatsoever, literally nothing. The reason, I think I touched on it in another video, the reason why I went with the NRC indicators and the CRG bar end mirrors is just where I keep my bike. The standard mirrors that come on the bike, they don't fold, and to get my V2 into where I keep it, I've literally got to fold the mirrors on every bike I've owned to actually get the bike into where I keep it. Just as another little bit of context or reference, I was sort of doing a bit of research on this bike when COVID-19 and the whole lockdown thing was big in the UK. Subsequently, I actually bought this bike. I didn't even do a test ride. I couldn't get into a dealership to even look at a bike to see how big it was, how it was going to compare size wise to my last bike, which was a CBR 600 RR. I had no idea of anything. Purely by chance, one day I was out and I'd been up on some of my favourite roads up in the Dales, up in the countryside, and it was only another 20 or 30 mile over to a dealership where I thought, oh, if they open, I wonder if I can, like, although they weren't going to let me in actually in the dealership to look at the bike, there might be one in a window that I could see. As chance had it, and I will give them a shout out on this video, it was J&L Motorcycles up in Carlisle. I called in off the cuff. They couldn't have been more helpful for us. They literally wheeled the colour of the bike that I wanted, which was the white one. They actually wheeled it outside so I'll actually have a look at it. However, I couldn't sit on it, couldn't do much. The bike was sold. But as soon as I saw it in the sunlight, this the white, I mean, it doesn't really come across on camera, you have to see this in person. The white colour in the sunshine, it's actually pearlescent. It is matte, however, there's a pearlescent in the paint, and you just can't see it. It doesn't matter where I go or what I zoom in on, you just can't see the actual colour and the quality of the paintwork on this. It's absolutely beautiful. So in part A of this video, what I want to touch on, first of all, as I go through my little list, is everything I'd heard, everything I'd read to do with the heat that these bikes kick out. Now, please bear in mind, I'm here in the UK. This ain't a hot country. We now in our summertime, as this video will like sort of go live, we are actually in our summertime, so it's a little bit less rainy. And when we get a nice day, believe it or not, we do get some really nice days. So this gives me the perfect opportunity to touch on what this heat issue was all about, with obviously going into having the exhaust routed right underneath the seat and all that sort of caper. So the first couple of little things I want to touch on as far as heat goes is, yes, the bike does get hot. It does get hot. However, what I've found is, if I ride the bike round town or into the nearest city to, I don't know, pop into a shop, pick some up, exchange something, or like a small commute into my nearest city, which is like 5-6 miles away, blah blah blah. Obviously nobody well, nobody where I'm at and where I live around here is going to literally climb into all their riding gear, leathers, boots. You know, they're not going to go the whole 9 yards. So what we tend to do, or what I'll do, is I'll just chuck ordinary jeans on, pair of trainers, as I'm sure most people do, if they're not going for like what we would call like a proper ride out. So we just chuck ordinary jeans on, a pair of trainers, like I'm in today, just, yeah. We chuck a riding jacket on, gloves, helmet, and off we go. Now what I found is if I've gone a little bit further afield, the bike's got up to temperature, I get stuck in traffic, or you know what I'm saying, like general like town or city riding, the bike does get hot, and it is the right hand side of the bike. I don't know why, the left hand's, it's slightly different, even though the bike's like symmetrical, for want of a better word. It just seems to be the seat gets a little bit hot, and the inside of my right thigh, I think where it is, it's when you stood in traffic and you've got both feet down and you're waiting at like lights and stuff like that, the actual leg literally runs, if I was to pan it, your leg literally runs down, hits the heat, runs down, and then you've got the clutch cover, which ultimately gets hot as well. So yes, the bike does get hot. Now I've ridden it on hot days like this, and I've ridden it on relatively cold, overcast days like this, and the bike still is hot. You do feel it on your legs, it does get hot. However, there is a flip side to this, and what I've found is when I've got all my riding gear on, i.e. when I go for a ride out, which is generally most of the mileage that I do on this bike, I will have full leathers on, one piece leather race suit, I'll have my boots on, obviously helmet, gloves, yada yada yada. Now I've been out, and this might sound a little crazy to anybody in a different country watching this, you're going to think that weather's not hot. But if we get an absolute scorching day here in the UK, even more so up in the northeast of England where I live, where it typically is cooler compared to down south, we get average temperatures in the summer of like 17, 18 degrees C, and that's a nice warm day. We talk shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops, and we walk around in that, it's nice. If we get what we call our Indian summers, we're going to get maybe a week of nice weather where the temperature can reach sort of 28 degrees C during the like midday and while we're out. Now here's the sort of kicker to it. I've actually ridden my bike, I've been out on it all day, I've done over 350 miles in one session on it, and I've had full leathers on, full everything, I've been out, done a proper ride. Now we're talking, leave my house, before I do my first stop on the bike for a comfort break, you're talking an hour. So you're talking like sort of 80 miles, maybe 60, 70, 80 miles in the first hour. You get off the bike. I'm yet to feel any heat at all through the seat, through my leathers. I get nothing. I get absolutely nothing at all. The day's carried on where we've gone then done a further 100 mile in slightly slower traffic around the edges of like lochs and lakes up near where I'm at, and again absolutely nothing. To the point where I'm out all day, and as long as I've got my leathers on and my riding kit on, the heat just isn't an issue. So what I would say is, for somebody who's thinking about buying a V2 and the heat thing is an issue for you, if you're going to ride it slow and round town and that sort of thing, it is going to get hot, and you are going to feel it. If you're just wearing just ordinary jeans or textiles or something like that, the bike's going to get hot. If you use the bike how I use my bike, which is literally going out for a proper ride, full leathers, full everything, bang bang, away you go, the heat isn't an issue at all. It's absolutely spot on. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say in part A of this I'll do a part A and a part B. I mean, I'm nearly at 15 minutes now, so what I'll do is I'll wrap up with that one there. In part B of the video, I'll touch on a couple of other things: the suspension, my weight on the bike, the brakes, how the bike reacts round town at pace. A couple of the other things I was going to touch on was like the quick shifter, the turn and circle, the fuel, and the sort of comfort side of the bike. So yeah, I'm pleased. I'm happy if you've stuck till the end of the video. Granted, it's a 15-minute video and it's just me drivelling on about the bike, really, I think. So yeah, this is part A. What I'll do, I'll drop it off here, and what I'll do is I'll shoot part B, which I'll probably post next week sometime, going into the other areas. Okay, hope everyone stays safe, doing well. I'll catch you in the next video.